Do we need to do another intro, or shall we just...
We'll just continue. We just say, back, well,
Okay.
Well, we are back from a break, a 4-day long break,
Yeah.
5-day long break, right?
What category are we up to, Joey?
I forgot.
Let's look at the list. We're up to Best Protagonist, actors and protagonists. So this one is talking about characters alone, right? So not performance necessarily, but whichever.
Well, before we get back into it, have you had your choices since changed on any of these upcoming categories, or maybe even?
Well, I watched a couple of movies that came out last year, but I don't think they changed it that much. Like, I watched Jurassic World Dominion today, and I don't think it had any bearing on anything, like any part of this list. Like, I guess I could put it in my most disappointing category, but even then, I wasn't expecting that much from it.
It's I don't remember very much from that movie.
It's not good. It's like it's
really.
definitely like could be the worst Jurassic movie yet.
Probably.
Like it's bad as in it doesn't bode well for the franchise going for. Like it reminded me of like a Fast and Furious movie, but with dinosaurs instead of cars. Like things just kept happening, and like there was no rhyme or reason to anything that was happening on screen, and like the cast just keeps getting bigger and bigger, but they don't kill anyone off anymore.
So it's the Fast 9 of.
Yeah, pretty much,
Jurassic.
I guess.
It's kind of just like not especially bad, but not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fair. No, I managed to actually rewatch some movies.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of like changed a few things around, but nothing new. And yeah, I guess the Golden Globes has happened since then, which will probably be somewhat of a topic when we proceed forward.
Okay.
Even though it's the lowest rated Golden Globes, every year it's the lowest record rating. Like it's just gonna be like one person. Which is probably like not even me or you, because I didn't watch it. So
yeah, I didn't watch it. It's like there are just so many like lists on YouTube and various social media platforms that like these award ceremonies just start getting less and less relevant, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe less and less like watchable because it's so long as well.
There's definitely transparent like. Loss of credibility, even though Golden Globes have never really been. I've never watched the Golden Globes, only the Ricky Gervais speeches. Yeah, but anyway, before we devolve into another 2-hour-long conversation, like our first part, in which sorry, Risky, but you're gonna have to sit through all of that, poor guy. Anyway, so I guess Risky can be the protagonist of this episode.
Yeah, he's always the MVP.
Antagonist. Yeah,
he's the MVP of Two Asian Blokes.
Yeah, because that's our next category.
Shall I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
So I've got David Martinez from Cyberpunk, Evelyn Wang, whichever version, I guess the main version of Evelyn Wang from Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've got Morbius in there, Raju or Beam, both of them are probably equally as good as each other. On the same note, Vikram and or Vader, because who is good, who is bad, the lines between the two are blurred in that film, you know what I'm talking about. Nick Cage from, what's that movie called? The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Massive Talent,
yep.
Yeah.
Naru from Prey. The Batman from The Batman. I guess secondary protagonist, but I do have a soft spot for Shishia. Yeah, from Alice in Borderlands.
He's very cerebral.
Yeah,
approach
just a very anime
you
bloke.
love that kind of character.
I do, yeah. Like the L,
the L's,
the L archetype. Yeah.
So yeah, actually, before I should have asked you what was your criteria for this particular, because it's like, I guess it's a combination of acting and maybe a combination of cool characters.
Yeah, I think I went for more
joke characters as well.
Yeah, I got a couple of jokes in there. I mean, Morbius is not a joke, Tavi. Morbius is serious.
Yeah, sorry. Morbius is the best. End of episode. Goodbye.
I think maybe I'm going for like the character that entertained me the most, as well as like, I guess kind of layered protagonists. So like David Martinez, for example, is like not necessarily entertaining, but he's like complex. Yeah, I think a good protagonist, similar to a good antagonist, lives in that kind of gray area where they're not 100% righteous, but they're, you know, they're not a villain. You know what I mean? Like, I guess the Batman is like a more clear-cut example of that, where it's like, yeah, he's obviously a superhero, but, you know, he's also a vigilante.
Something in the way.
Yeah. So you might not agree with his methods, but, you know, his cause is just, I guess. But, you know, there are other, like, factors. So entertainment, obviously, is a part of it. Evelyn Wang is just a good performance all around. So I'm not, like, that's hard because it's, like, it's straying into the actress category a bit more. Veda as well? Who's the one that Hrithik Roshan plays? Was that Vikram or was that Veda?
Yeah, he plays, oh shit.
I think it's
Veda.
Yeah, I think it's Veda, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got a similar criteria to you as well. Like, it's hard because, like, initially we just had best... we didn't have these categories, and then like I had like a really long best actor and a really really long best actress list. But when you introduce these, it's like, yeah, it may not be the best performances, but it's just very entertaining. It might be that particular actor's wheelhouse that it's just like just playing kind of themselves, but playing it really well. That's really entertaining.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of my criteria.
Okay.
So I had I've got Mona Lisa from Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon. I just think she's a really cool character, and I really liked John Junseo's performance. I've got Yoon Se-bum from Happiness, because it's like, you know, it's Han Hyo-jo being like
just being
super
a darling.
adorable, but also like super like kick-ass as well.
Sure.
She does this role like really well, like maybe too well. Like, it's not a very realistic character, but like I don't care. It's just like really, it's just really fun to watch. It's like, yeah, I've got these two characters from the Baby Assassins movie, Mahiro and Chisato, and like, yeah, this the performances, I kind of put them as one protagonist because I think one character cannot exist without the other.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, because one's kind of like the awkward, geeky, shy person, and the other one's like the really outgoing, kind of cutesy, like, you know, kawaii Japanese girl. So, but I think their dynamic is really, really fun to watch in the movie. I've got Mia Goth in Pearl. Pearl is just a great performance. I do love crazy, maniacal women killing people.
Would you consider her the protagonist? She's the protagonist in Pearl.
Yeah, she's the
antagonist in
DEUX. Yeah, that's true.
She's kind of both in Pearl as well.
I've got Marcel the Shell. I've got Jung Yun-ha from Special Delivery. For Park So-dam to just be kind of a cool action hero is very unexpected, and just enjoyed the journey of that character. Got Michelle Yeoh, like you. I've got Suzu and Belle. I've got Ma Sok-do from the Roundup.
Oh yeah,
because, you know,
he's quite good, isn't he? Yeah,
just, you know, wanted to beat up a bunch of motherfuckers. It's great. Yeah, I've got Raju and Beam from Triple R. I've got Amleth from The Northman.
Oh yeah,
I just love the amount of roaring and masculinity, just like extreme amount of masculinity.
Like the way he
movie.
catches that spear and throws it back at the dude. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, that was really. That's like the
marquee shot.
Yeah. I've got the character. I think the character's name is Sienna Shaw from Terrifier 2, who was a surprisingly likable character. Pretty good performance from someone I've never seen anything from that actress. I think I got Lauren Lavera. I've got OJ from Nope, because I feel like quiet heroes are looked down upon in American cinema. Yeah, and a lot of criticism I've seen from this movie is the main character is quiet and boring and is stoic and has no personality, and it's just like they're just not used to this kind of performance. So. Good on you, Daniel Kaluuya, for, you know, not having to be like an Angela Bassett every time or something like that.
Hey man, it's a Golden Globe nominee.
Golden Globe winner. Nah, but that was a good. I haven't seen that movie.
I haven't seen that movie, but it's the most memorable part of the trailer.
Have I got to give on? Yeah, nice, yeah. I've got Maverick from Top Gun Maverick.
That's just Tom Cruise, isn't it? Though.
Yeah, it's just Tom Cruise. Very enjoyable. I mean, come on, man, it's Tom Cruise.
Not Rooster.
And yeah,
I find Rooster more compelling than Maverick.
Rooster's alright. Rooster's a kid, yeah. I mean, Rooster's Mars Teller. Yeah,
Mars Teller. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a weird looking face, but
he's got a little moustache.
Yeah, he just like forever looks young, even though he's like 35 now.
I think because he's got like the face of a bitch ass. He's like just always like pouting.
David Martinez, which I forgot to put on as well. So when you mentioned him, I put David Martinez on there. So yeah, that's my list, and even now, like I had a winner picked, but just reading through that now, like there's so many. Like, am I giving this to, let's say, a character because of the acting, or a character that I enjoyed?
I think we're gonna have to call it like put acting aside and just try to consider the character, like. Because it's hard to ignore the acting, but like
I'm struggling. I don't know which one to pick. There's a lot of good. I'll let you pick first.
I like Evelyn Wang's arc. I think that character in and of itself, like she starts off as kind of just a typical Asian auntie, and she has this kind of journey that takes her from that simple character to this kind of like almost like a god, really. But then again, it's hard because the performance is quite good, right?
Yeah, I particularly like that character because writing a like aging immigrant woman and putting her as your main character
and turning her into like such a heroic character as well.
A great character. And it's like to get people to come and watch that as well is a challenge in itself. Not that many people, Gen Zs or maybe even boomers, would choose to watch that kind of movie. Like for me it's a very close tie between three characters on here, which would be Yoon Sebom because it's Han Hyo-jo. I'd have Mahiro and Chisato from Baby Assassins because I just really like the performance in that movie. Is like it's kind of it's hard to explain. It's very like Pineapple Express. Like it's a strange movie, but like you just kind of want to hang out with the characters. That's like the main appeal of that movie, I think, for me when I watched it. Like Michelle Yeoh would be there as well from Evelyn.
Belle is quite good as well, I think. Like,
Belle's pretty good. Yeah,
just because of the dual personas of Belle and what's her name, Susan?
But like, I think I'm not gonna choose Belle because I did enjoy the character and I did enjoy the performance, but I've definitely seen that kind of character in other stuff, so it's not really that original compared to say like those. Well, Han Hyo-jo's not original, but
I mean, I would even consider David Martinez but like his arc is a little bit. I think it falls off a little bit towards the end, but he's kind of like this tragic character because like there's no happy ending in his story. So. Yeah, seeing his kind of downward spiral was like pretty heartbreaking, I think.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Morbius. It's Morbius time.
Michael Morbius at your service.
Am I gonna go with my basic human instinct and pick the attractive one? Or... No,
like the character's not even like it's just Han Hyo-jo.
She's a good character, man. She, she's very assertive, but she embraces her like cute side as well. So it's a good best of both worlds. But no, I'm gonna go for Mahiro and Chisato. Baby Assassins is it's a weird movie that I want to talk about in one of my other categories. But yeah, what do you
you know what? I'm gonna give it to David Martinez. Just thinking about it now, like
rest in peace, man.
Yeah, his journey is just really compelling, and like it's kind of predictable, but just watching it unfold is just it does hit you pretty hard.
Like a lot of shonen anime is quite predictable, but I think it's just the way it's told is like really good. But yeah, should we move on to Antagonist then?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want me to go first? I've got the businessman from the sadness.
Okay.
Strong start. I've got the grabber from the Black Phone.
Okay.
So
I haven't
Ethan
seen
Hawke's
that
character.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I've got Chopu Topaki from Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've got Kyoma for the Olympian abs.
Yeah, okay.
Even though he's not essentially a bad guy, he's still an antagonist.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
And from the same series, The King of Spades, I just find that kind of Resident Evil nemesis omnipresence kind of funny.
Sure.
And I've got Guinam from All of Us Are Dead. I really enjoyed that guy's performance, that really deliciously evil Korean guy performance.
Yeah.
In Triple R, I was going to narrow it down, but I'm just going to have to say the British.
Just the British guys. I've got British guys from Triple R in my list as well.
Just the British. Every single British person except the romantic interest is just deliciously entertaining to watch. They're just so one-dimensional that it's just fantastic.
In the same vein, I've got the French guys from Prey, because they're pretty much the same.
Right. Yeah. I forgot about maybe I should include them.
I think the French are less cartoonishly evil, maybe like a smidge less.
Yeah. I've got Art the Clown from Terrifier 2, the Smile Demon. I do have Pearl from X. That's why it's not in my protagonist list, because she's not a protagonist in that movie. And then I've got the demon entity in Skinamarink.
Okay.
Just like there's not. I won't talk too much about it, but there's not really a solid thing, but it's just like the feel of it. It's just there, you know. And from the movie The Innocents, the Norwegian film, I've got the character of Ben. That character being like a 10-year-old kid who has been like neglected, and I think that actor does pretty well with like performing that kind of dark material, but not being very much an innocent kid as well. I think it's a good balance. But who you got?
Just a heads up. I think my list might contain some spoilers. But I've got Adam Smasher from Cyberpunk. Pearl as well is on my list. Chef Julian from The Menu.
That's right. He's a good villain too. Yeah.
I've got Danny Sharp from Ambulance, the character that Jake Gyllenhaal plays.
Jake Gyllenhaal,
I think that's more the performance that gets me, because it's quite entertaining to watch. I've got Sully from Burns and All. I have Jobu Tupaki as well. Gore the God Killer, which is the villain from, I don't know if you remember, but he's the villain from Thor Love and Thunder. Christian Bale's character.
I remember that.
I've got the French guys from Prey, British guys in Triple R. I've got Humanity from Avatar, The Way of Water. Just any human character is just the worst.
That's fair. I probably should have put Humanity. The very one-dimensional view.
Everyone from Bodies is the worst as well. Jade Wesker from Resident Evil.
I see what you did there.
And I've got Justin Long from Barbarian. Justin Long's character, I forget the character's name, but
I forgot. Just Justin Long.
The guy from Barbarian. And Steve/Brendan from Fresh. Also the alien from Nope. Just out of design alone.
I forgot to put. I guess. I wasn't thinking about creatures and stuff as well. So I'd probably put the alien from Nope as well.
I had Predator from Prey as well, but he's just a predator. You get it. It's Predator.
That's fair.
But that's my list.
my choice hasn't changed. It's just going to be Kuma from Alice in Borderland.
He's so good.
Because he's just like
I didn't
very
have him on his list. I kind of forgot because like I almost consider him like a protagonist because like I feel like in his story, from his point of view, he's a protagonist.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but I think as an overall thing, and I think following it, he is classically an antagonist. But he's not a bad dude. He's just
a sympathetic antagonist is still an
Yeah.
antagonist. I feel like.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know, I like that character's philosophy. I like his abs. So I like his rock and roll.
I like the creative ways they came up with to cover his junk up.
Yeah. But I think close would be like the businessman from The Sadness.
Yeah, he's good.
Maybe the grabber from the Black Phone. Ethan Hawke does a pretty good job. And maybe Ginam as well. Yeah. Those are probably like close runners up, but like definitively, it's just Kuma. What about you?
I'm gonna give it to Justin Long's character from Barbarian, and I'll tell you why. Like, this is what I was talking about. Spoilers. Like, he's not initially a villain, right? Like, but you see hints towards like his villainous behavior. Like his character introduction is kind of him disputing these like sexual misconduct allegations, and like it's kind of like as you watch the movie, you're like, is this guy actually a good guy, or like, because he's got like comedic moments as well. And like he's put in this situation where like he's running for his life kind of thing, and there is an obvious like in that movie as well, which you could call an antagonist as well. But like his actions at the end of the movie just cement him as like a villain.
As an antagonist.
Yeah. So like I think that just complexity of his character, I think, is what sells me on this type of antagonist. Like I really like a jerk that's not like like I like obvious jerks. We've talked about this in Korean movies as well, where like there's just this archetypal character that's just obviously a jerk. But like I do like this kind of more subtle portrayal of just the worst guy as well, So I mean I'm surprised, but I keep like gravitating towards that character as just like the worst of this list.
Should we move on to Best Actor?
Yep, let's do that.
Yeah, okay. First up, I've got Adam Driver as Professor Jack Gladney in White Noise. Song Kang-ho as Ha Sang-hyun in Broker.
Oh, not his character in Emergency Declaration?
No, unfortunately not. No,
Okay.
not. It is like the awkward wheelchair movement.
I mean, he's pretty consistent though, like as an actor.
He's pretty good at that. Yeah, but that movie was alright. The more I think about it, I've got Park Hae-il playing Jung Hee-jeon from Decision to Leave.
Yep.
I've got a duo here. Colin Farrell as Podrick and Brendan Gleeson as Colm from Banshees of Inisherin, which I watched again today, actually.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet. I was almost going to watch it this weekend, but I was like, had other stuff going on. Like watching Jurassic World Dominion.
You watch Jurassic World Dominion. That's very you, isn't it? But no, I put them as a duo for the same reasons as I had, the protagonist, but
sure, they
with Baby Assassins. But like the acting between these two guys, like Colin Farrell does great as kind of like a dumb but very sympathetic kind of guy who just wants to be rekindle his friendship with Brendan Gleeson. I really like Brendan Gleeson. I think he's a very underrated actor.
I think people like him though.
People like him, but he's not like mentioned in the same breath as say like a Leonardo DiCaprio or George Clooney or he's just not that handsome compared to them. He's a big Irish.
Would you call
dude.
him a character actor? He's more high profile than a character actor, right? Like
His choice in movies are quite interesting. Like I really liked him in The Guard and Calvary.
Troy.
I liked him in Gangs of New York as well for his minor role. Yeah.
No,
and,
he's consistently good as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Brendan Gleeson. Is a really good actor. I think he's I think he's a really good stage actor. I can see him being like a really good stage actor and plays. But yeah, I've got those guys. I've got Ki Hee Kwan as Waymond from Everything Everywhere All at Once, and kudos to the Golden Globe win as well.
Yeah.
You deserve it. I haven't watched your speech yet. I heard it's really good, but
he's just so lovable, that dude.
Yeah, very lovable guy. I've got, forgive me for maybe mispronouncing this, but I've got Hrithik Roshan as Beta.
Yep.
Just because, Alcoholia is awesome.
No, I mean, it's a good,
but yeah,
it's a good performance.
I mean, all around. He's very charismatic.
He does have a lot of screen presence, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, for someone who hasn't watched very many Indian movies, and then to be really drawn to this character, this epitome of manliness.
Well, apparently he's quite prolific in Indian cinema as well. So,
I think we mentioned in that episode. Yeah, he's very
OP.
The other,
he's like the Song Kang-ho of Indian cinema.
Well, more he's the male Indian IU. Just has it all. I've got Paul Mescal as Callum Patterson in After Sun. It's a very, very subtle performance, but you get it when you watch it. I've got Felix Camera as Paul Balmer in All Quiet on the Western Front. I've got Tori Matsuzaka playing Fumi Saiki in Wandering. I put him there because it's for the character that he's portraying and being sympathetic, it's a hard task because most of the audience would be against you in this kind of role.
Sure.
And then I've got Mark Rylance as Sully in Burns and All. Very, very menacing performance. He's not in it that much, but he leaves an impression. I think Mark Rylance is pretty, OP.
What else
he's always
is he
getting... he's in Don't Look Up. He plays, the Steve Jobs kind of character.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, he got his... I think he got his big recognition in Bridge of Spies as a Russian spy.
Sure.
But there's been a couple of
he's
others.
in the outfit. I wanted to watch that. Outfit.
Yeah. Apparently that movie is really good, actually. Yeah.
It's one of those one location films.
Yeah. I think it sounds like a plot that'd be right up your alley as well. It's kind of like a plot-driven mystery thriller kind of thing, heist-ish thriller. But what's your best actor list?
It's a little bit of overlap. I got Hrithik Roshan as well. I have Ki Hee Kwan as well. I also put, because we didn't specify best supporting or...
that's true.
Best lead,
that's why I got Ki Hee Kwan. Yeah,
I've got Harry Shum Jr. as well.
That's right.
For Rakakuni. I also have Colin Farrell from The Batman, but I think that's more the transformation that... Because I haven't seen Banshees, but I thought he was quite good in The Batman. But it is more about the transformation than his performance.
Yeah, no, you're right. He's fucking unrecognizable.
Yeah, it's somehow him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I watched it with Boone, and Boone didn't even know that was Colin Farrell.
Oh, really?
Colin Farrell.
Yeah, you can't really tell if you didn't know. He's getting his own spin-off show, so good for him, I guess. I've also got Park Hae-il from Decision to Leave, Song Kang-ho from Broker. I have Christian Bale from his role in Amsterdam. I thought...
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that movie yet. It's got a very polarizing response.
I have this movie on one of my other lists, and it's just recently joined there because I've only recently watched it.
Okay, I'll hear your talk about that.
I also have Nicholas Hoult from The Menu.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I really enjoyed Nicholas Holt's character.
He's just really good at playing that kind of character as well. Kind of because have you seen The Great TV show about the Russian oligarchy?
No, I haven't seen that.
He's similar character in that show, and he's just really good at being an annoying prick. And I've got Jake Gyllenhaal as well from Ambulance. Yeah, that's my list.
I watched Broker again today as well, and it's gonna go to Song Kang-ho.
Okay,
it's just such a lovable performance, but
he's
also very
so
tortured.
gravelly.
It's just a great just watching him act with that ensemble of cast and to stand out from that movie.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of characters that are in my best actress list from that movie. So, but for him to stand out is just like, yeah, it's good. And the scene with the daughter is just like, yeah, it's just very like feels. So it's gonna go to Song Kang-ho. Close would be like Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson and maybe Park Hae-il. But yeah, Song Kang-ho, man, just. And I still remember after we watched it from Sydney, I was just like enamored.
It's
this
fair.
This is coming from a movie that has IU in it, and I'm being enamored by Song Kang-ho.
I think Song Kang-ho's screen presence is undeniable, and he's really good at like portraying these kind of really subtle characters. I don't know if his character in Broker is all that subtle. But like he does have moments where he's saying a lot without saying a lot of words, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of Song Kang-ho's wheelhouse. But I'm going to give it to Park Hae-il, I think.
Okay,
for the same reasons. Because Park Hae-il, the character he's playing in Decision to Leave says a lot with his face, I think.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah. It's a similar character to the main character from Nope. Right? It's like pretty stoic, doesn't really say much. Like you could see it as kind of a boring character. But I think like Park Hae-il's portrayal of this detective that's kind of like struggling with a lot, but like it's never explicit, you know, like the way the movie's written is like they're not telling the audience what he's struggling with, you know?
He could do, like, as you say, he does like kind of a lot with his expressions. Like, the scene where like it's the second half and he finds out that Song Sao-rae is at the second like crime scene, and then it does that like zoom into his face. Like, this fucking bitch again, but just with his face. It was really funny. And it's just and the scene with the gloves is trying to grab the knife.
And it's such like an odd tone like throughout the whole film, and you know I think it takes a lot to kind of pull that kind of performance off, because you have to be comedic without being overtly comedic, you know? I mean, a lot of it has to do with the writing, but I think, you know, to be able to sell that kind of character, I think it takes a lot of acting chops. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah, even thinking about it now, it's very close, like,
Hrithik Roshan is very close as well, just because like I've never seen anything from him as like before, and I was like, well, this guy is like very attention grabbing.
I think Vikram Vedha left more of an impression on us than we thought we did. That's interesting.
Because it's like our kind of movie as well. It's like it's like the Outlaws or the Rundown, but it's Indian.
It's Indian. It's a good movie. Yeah. I'd probably like give it. I'd give it a higher rating. I think I gave it 3.5 initially, but on like letting it like simmer in my mind, it's like I actually quite enjoyed this movie a lot. So I gave it 4 stars. I think I changed it. Should we move on to actress?
Best
I think
actress.
You should go first because I have a lot, and then I could just use the overlaps.
Yep.
So,
I have Mia Goth from. I'm going to say from Pearl rather than from X. IU from Broker. Michelle Yeoh from Everything Everywhere All at Once. Also Jamie Lee Curtis from Everything Everywhere All at Once. Tang Wei from Decision to Leave. Daisy Edgar Jones from Fresh. Keke Palmer from Nope. Nicole Kidman from The Northman. Amber Midthunder from Prey. And Zoe Kravitz from The Batman. There are some that are clearly like above the pack in this list, but I do have to give credit to, you know, like Zoe Kravitz. She's not going to win it, but you know, she's just got a charismatic performance as Catwoman, you know, and you know Amber Midthunder from Prey as well. Like it's just the character that kind of lets down the performance a little bit, because the character is pretty like one-dimensional. It's just lady that wants to be taken seriously, you know.
That's fair.
It's kind of a character we've seen a lot of, but you know her performance is solid, and she really sells, you know, the dread of the situation quite well. I haven't included in many TV actresses. I'm guessing Han Hyo-jo is on your list. So I'll leave.
No, actually,
Oh,
because
okay. She didn't make it onto your list.
as you said before, like she's a really good character, but she's essentially just Han Hyo-jo.
So the acting
I've
is,
kind of I've kind of like seen that character, but I just love the character. But like, I tried to be a bit more critical with this list. I think it's not so much like the character, but yeah, I got Mia Goth as well from Pearl, Michelle Yeoh from as Evelyn from Everything Everywhere, as well as Stephanie Su as Joy.
Okay, yeah,
I put her there because her character could have been an extremely grating character, but she does it pretty. She's still like grating, but it's like done quite well where she's sympathetic, I think.
Yeah.
And you kind of understand because like we were probably little shits as teenagers as well, you know, probably unlikable jerks back then. So I think she captures that kind of, you're kind of an annoying teenager, but I also remember maybe being unreasonable as well, like that at that age.
There were a few actors or like I guess portrayals that they're similar. They're playing this really annoying character, but it's still watchable. Which you're right, it is pretty hard to pull off. Like I guess I should give credit to like the actresses in Bodies. So I don't really remember their names, but
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I think the characters are like one entity in that movie.
They're just so unlikable.
Yeah.
Like especially for our generation, I think, and older generations. Like, but the movie is still quite good and like entertaining because you're meant to dislike them, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of the characters in Glass Onion as well are kind of that same vein. So yeah, I probably should give credit to those people.
I've got Susu Hirose from Wandering. I got Kaho Nakamura as Belle and Suzu as well. So she appeared on Protagonist on this list. I think it was a good performance.
Did she do the singing in that?
Yeah, she did, I think. Okay. Yeah. I actually
good.
forgot to mention the soundtrack in the music section as well, because it's a really good soundtrack.
Okay.
But that was last week's episode, not the last week's talk. So
no, it's the same episode. This is the same recording, Tavi. I don't.
Oh yeah, it's the same. Yeah, we didn't have a few days break. But yeah, Kate Blanchett as Tar, Ana Diarmas in Blonde as Marilyn Monroe, Wei Tang as well from Decision to Leave, Jenny Slate as Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
And the woman with the dog from Everything.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forget that they're both the same. I've got Gingal Wang and Alyssa Chia, both from The Falls.
Yeah, okay.
They're just really great performances. I've got Ren Komai from Ito, kind of like a very understated performance, but like she emotes.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really remember her standing out that much, but like I guess that's the point.
Yeah, it's just one of those like understated Japanese dramas. Yeah, that's hard to do. I put it when I rewatched it. Like I really like that performance, especially for I'm assuming a very young actress as well. Because it's probably hard to do.
And she probably plays the shamisen in it.
I've got Gui Lun Mei from A Leg. I thought she was quite funny as that irritable wife looking for her husband and kind of being a nuisance, but also being very sympathetic.
You're right. That was a good performance.
Yeah, I've got IU as well, because it's IU from Broker. But no, she does a really good job in that movie. I've got Bae Doona from Broker as well. I think she's one of the more underrated, not underrated, but like one of the more subtle characters in that movie.
She's a good actress in general.
Yeah, Bae Doona is pretty high profile.
I don't know if Broker gives her really a big chance to shine, but she is good in it.
I liked her character for like you know her backstory watching it, but she never says explicitly what her backstory is, but you can feel it just in the things she says and just through like the expressions of anger or of sadness that she gives. That's quite subtle. I just think that performance sells her really well. I've got Kim Mina as Sunja from Pachinko.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I've got Bang Mina from Snowball. I've got Lina Arashi from My Small Land, being like a Turkish Japanese actress is like I've never ever seen that before, and to pull that off is like quite good. And lastly, Caitlin Fung from American Girl, just very like kind of sympathetic performance, but also kind of that same deal. Like she's a little bit unlikable, but you know she's a teenage girl who's shifted away from home, kind of forcefully. So you kind of understand where she's coming from. But yeah, that's my list. Yeah, a lot of good female performances.
A lot of Asian female performances on that list.
Yeah.
Eh?
Well, I watch a lot of Asian movies.
Yeah,
Man.
fair enough.
That's just kind of, you know. But yeah, who was? I have a winner, and I don't think it's changed since.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit torn. Maybe I should hear your winner first, and then see if that sways me a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot here.
Yeah.
I mean, like, should my primitive human brain just give it to IU because it's IU? But
I think IU's won enough in life. She doesn't need our approval.
Like, I'm sure if IU is a cameo in a movie next year, I'm just going to put her in Best Actress anyway. But no, it's not going to IU. I'd probably give it to Wei Tang as Song Seo-rae.
Yeah.
Just as a very, like, what's the word? Like, beautiful, like, kind of femme fatale. Yeah, very seductive character, but not, like, in maybe the traditional Western way that we've seen it. Her character is not a particularly, say, sexy character, but she's very seductive.
She's more
just
like
with
a
lot of
noir,
glances.
like femme fatale presence, right? Like, she's not overtly sexualized, but it's just kind of in the looks that she's giving, yeah.
It's just like, it's just a great performance, and like just watching them two interact, like
chemistry
really
is
enjoyable.
palpable, isn't it?
Yeah. The kind of very understated, but like it's there. As you said, it's palpable. You can feel it, and it's good. Yeah. So
I wonder if that's more of like an Eastern mentality, though. Like, I wonder if, you know, any of like my Aussie friends would watch this film and be like, nothing is happening in this scene. Because, you know...
I know a mate who probably said that. I wonder if he's listening to this. He probably knows who he is. But, like, it's definitely different between Eastern, Western courting. We might have talked about it.
I think we did. I think Boone brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine I still can't imagine a lot of Australians really like... Even though it was a packed theatre when we went to watch it, and there were a lot of, like, you know, Caucasian Australians who enjoyed the movie there, or seemingly, you know. I didn't ask them specifically if they enjoyed it or not, but there's definitely an audience for it, but I'm assuming you're probably thinking more generally, like, you know, you go next door, hey, watch this movie. It's crap.
Yeah. For me, I'm kind of torn between Mia Goth, Michelle Yeoh, and Keke Palmer, and maybe Nicole Kidman as well, because I just keep thinking back to certain scenes where Nicole Kidman is really allowed to shine in The Northman, where she does that particular, like, kind of unhinged performance quite well. Keke Palmer is just consistently good in that film, which I also quite like. Like, I really like the movie Nope. And I think she contributes a lot. And Michelle Yeoh in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, just because she's playing so many different characters as well.
Yeah, and like it's a very physical role too. Physical and emotional.
And she's always done like her own stuff, like her own stunts and stuff. Like, she's kind of at the forefront of that movement of getting, you know, female martial artists on the screen. Yeah, it's like a role that's like tailor-made for her as well, almost. I'm not sure if it was written for her or not, but yeah, she nails it. Mia Goth played 3 characters in
Maxine,
X and Pearl.
Yeah.
Well, 2 characters, I should say, but like, you know, Pearl is like young Pearl and old Pearl.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good as well, right?
Mia Goth is really good.
Yeah.
In Pearl, like, she, I guess maybe best white actress if I'm just gonna go there.
Yeah, maybe I'll give it to Mia Goth, I reckon.
Okay, yeah.
Because like, although I
Interesting, because
didn't,
you
I
didn't
didn't
really like
really
this
like
movie.
Pearl that
Yeah.
much. Yeah, I liked X, but I didn't like Pearl that much. But like, I think it is that kind of movie for me where the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, actually, it might not have been what I was expecting, but it is quite good, like for what it is.
Even in our earlier conversation, you speak like quite fondly of this movie.
Yeah.
I remember, because I remember when you first watched it, you said, I didn't like it.
But it's also kind of like the Mia Goth show, you know?
Yeah. It is. Yeah, looking forward to watching Maxine, which comes out later this year, I think. So the third one, yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a good choice. Good on you, Mia Goth.
Yeah.
So, what's the next?
We're doing most disappointing movie / TV show next.
Now we're going into
We're getting into some negativity.
The shit. Do you have a long list for this one? Because you are a TV show guy.
Yeah.
Oh no, we got movie as well.
It's movie as well, so maybe I should list mine first, huh?
Yeah, I actually don't have too many, so
yeah, this
maybe
is a tough one because like we have to compare our expectations to the product that we were given as well. So like, although a product might be bad, if our expectations were low, it's not necessarily disappointing. Like Jurassic World Dominion that I mentioned earlier, right?
And disappointing for me is like the movie's not necessarily bad, and I still may have enjoyed
that's true
it.
as well.
It just didn't
You
quite
expected more.
meet. Yeah, I expected more. But yeah, shoot.
That said, I'm still putting Jurassic World Dominion on this list because I can't let it pass because it's pretty crap.
Is it disappointing or bad? That's the thing. Like, I was not expecting very much from this movie.
I think I have more of a soft spot for the Jurassic franchise than you do.
Fair enough.
I think probably what was disappointing for me for this, in regards to this film, is like how generic of a blockbuster it became. Also, like the visual effects aren't great. Like I never got a sense that the dinosaurs were actually there, like at any point in the film.
Because they're not. It's all CG, isn't it?
I mean, I don't. I don't want to like.
You don't want to shit on CG.
Yeah, I don't want to tease. I don't want to make fun of people for being crunched. But
it's not their fault. But like you have to like talk about it as a finished product that was approved by a head, you know.
Sure. It's not going to be the winner of this list anyway, but I'm not going to let it slide. It's shit.
You're not gonna let it slide.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is on there. The Grey Man is on there. Day Shift is on there. Prey is also on there. I'm not saying it's a bad film, but
that is interesting. Yeah.
I got really excited by the PR for this film, and I think
really,
because I was
really hear you talk that much about it. So,
But did you see like The Predator? That movie, The Predator.
The Shane Black movie. Yeah.
It's fucking shit, man.
It's pretty bad movie.
So like when the promo for Prey started, I was like, oh yes, finally a return to form for the Predator franchise, and it is, but it's like it's okay.
It's nothing too special. It's I enjoyed the movie quite a bit, but like I have lower expectations for tentpole films because I know that there's a big machine behind franchises, so they have to meet a kind of structural, crowd-pleasing demographic. So, but I know like people are like, who was the director? Is it David or Dan Trachtenberg or something? He did
the director for Prey.
Yeah, he did 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh yes, Dan Trachtenberg.
Yeah. I really like that movie a lot. Might have worked better if it was not part of that universe, but that movie was really good. So when I saw it was Dan Trachtenberg, I was like, okay, he might make this kind of
it was kind of like
subversion of a movie.
Yeah, but like stripped down, not really any huge names in it. Kind of like this setting that's like kind of different as well. But yeah, the movie itself is like it's fine. It's okay. Obi-Wan is also on this list of most disappointing TV shows. I thought it would be better. I I thought it would bring more to the table. Like, it's kind of one of those TV shows where you watch it and you're like, okay, that didn't really amount to anything. Like, it doesn't really add anything to the universe.
It's given a lot
like,
of people on YouTube content to create, that's for sure.
Yeah, I guess so. That's
so
something,
much Obi-Wan.
right?
There's a lot of Obi-Wan bashing on
Is
YouTube.
there? Okay, I didn't realize it was so hated.
It's pretty maligned, but yeah. I didn't watch it, so I don't know.
I also put All of Us Are Dead on this list because
Really?
I feel like the first couple of episodes of All of Us Are Dead like are really strong, but then it just kind of loses its way. We did a whole episode on it. So
interesting.
Thor: Love and Thunder is also on my list because I quite like Thor Ragnarok, and like the follow up is so bad. It's like quite a bad film, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got some films that I might have put on this disappointing, but like I think they shifted from disappointing to just being bad for me. So that's why there's maybe not as many on my list. But I've got The Grey Man, just like you. I've got Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Again, it's a movie that I liked and enjoyed, but I was just expecting it to be more like balls to the walls crazy.
Sure.
Where it's quite maybe too subdued. I don't know. Like, it was funny, but not that memorable to me. Because I've seen like other Nick Cage, other crazier Nick Cage movies.
Yeah,
like,
he doesn't go that crazy in it.
Yeah, like Mandy, or even The Color Out of Space, or Adaptation, which is like one of his finest movies. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it was kind of a letdown.
Yeah, I think you did mention in one of our monthly movie roundups that for a movie about where Nick Cage is playing himself, they should have probably taken, used it a bit more.
The anime movie Bubble there.
Okay.
I remember Hideo Kojima like posted about this. Oh yeah, this looks really cool. Like,
Hideo Kojima, was he involved in that film?
No, he wasn't. He was just like, he just posted something on his Instagram. I was like, oh, Hideo Kojima likes it. It must be good. So it's got that style of animation that I like. And I like how it's kind of a futuristic world and kind of post-apocalyptic. But this movie kind of hits it. Not hits, but I would say it has all the structure of a kind of a whimsical Makoto Shinkai movie.
But it's not.
But doesn't really have the heart.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't really feel anything. And I think it's too short. Because it's just like things just kind of happen. Like, I don't even remember the movie very much.
I just know, I haven't seen it. I just know there's like parkour in it.
The next one, I've got Avatar: The Way of Water.
Oh, okay.
Which is like, the special effects and action are really good.
Were your expectations high for this film?
They're not high, but like, I think after 13 years, I wanted a much more nuanced story rather than like human bad. Like, it's the same story.
It's essentially the same story as the first one.
Yeah, it's too similar, and there was like too much like James Cameron jizz in the middle part of this movie where they're just kind of floating in the water.
Yeah,
and, like,
definitely. He's way too in love with like this fake nature that he's created.
I know you really love your world, James Cameron, and you do push the film technology to its like boundaries when you make something, but it's like, I don't know, I find the story just kind of like generic. Like, I don't think I'm gonna watch this movie again unless I'm at a friend's house and we need to put something in the background.
Well, I consider these films more tech demos than anything.
Yeah,
it's like,
I guess so.
And like, I do appreciate the fact that he's advancing technology, with what he does. But yeah, like in terms of story, if the next one is the same story but with like fire people instead of water people, I might bow out at that point.
It is fire and water people.
Yeah, but if it's the same story, you know what I mean? Like,
well, apparently the fire people are supposed to be like more gangster. Like, more of the savage kind. So
Sure.
I'm probably gonna watch it. Like, without a doubt, I'm gonna watch Avatar 3 when it comes
Here's
out.
a question for you though. Like, do you think Kate Winslet's performance in that film is racist?
The pregnant one.
Yeah. Like,
Oh fuck yeah!
her accent and shit.
I don't even I wasn't even thinking about it being. I knew it was Kate Winslet, but like, I don't think that performance stood out at all. Not even to like offend. Like, I don't even remember.
Well, she's doing like a island accent kind of thing.
Island boy.
And it's kind of like the only difference between that and blackface is technology. You know, like,
Well, I mean, like, there's been a bunch of people who have calling out Avatar as a digital blue face. thing.
Okay, so there are people talking about
There's
it.
people, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like it's a sensitive topic, but I think like if you are like holding the string on a creative so much, like, what's the point of creating? I mean, what about Avatar, the last air? Oh, yeah, fuck, that's got Avatar. The Last Airbender, you know?
Sure.
You may okay, let's I'm assuming most of that crew is Canadian and they're all white.
Yeah.
But like, okay, let's just not make Inuit and Asian inspired things. I even watched Raya, the Last Dragon.
Yeah.
That movie's pretty shit. Like,
How great is it?
It's like, yeah, it's kind of like, I was curious about the discourse of that as well. As a paragon of Southeast Asian representation, it is not. As a Disney movie, yeah, it's fine. Like, put it on for your kids.
Sure.
You know, just yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't have a problem with it because, like, someone who does watch a lot of international films, I don't need to rely on Hollywood to make these kind of representative films for me. I can just look for it. So whenever they make something or they try to make something, like, I'm not expecting it to be accurate because, like, you know, it's just following a trend and
Right.
like, I don't expect very much. But if you're a person who is expecting Hollywood to make you feel represented, I got bad news for you, man. That's just not going to happen because
I mean, I guess like
yeah.
every now and then you get an Everything Everywhere all at once, and everyone like feels really good about themselves because finally Hollywood got representation right or whatever. Finally, Hollywood gave Ke Huy Quan a chance to shine. But you know, like, aside from that, yeah, I don't know. I just found it interesting that people seemed okay with what Kate Winslet and James Cameron are doing.
So next, I have The Fabelmans, which I would probably actually say is my most disappointing movie.
This movie has been received quite well.
Yeah, like it was a close race between The Grey Man and The Fabelman. I don't know actually between those two because The Grey Man I expected more because I wanted to have like actor versus actor action.
Sure.
But something about The Fabelmans is a good movie, right? It's good structurally, it's got good acting, it's got good directing. It's a Spielberg movie, you know, and it's like kind of, I was expecting to really like this movie and get very teary-eyed watching this movie because I do like get pretty emotional watching movies.
It's one of Spielberg's more sentimental films, right?
Yeah, it's a personal film. But I really struggled to connect with this movie. Like, I don't know why. Like, I like the first act of the film, like when he's kind of making movies. Like, it's kind of cool. It's very whimsical, yeah. But then it kind of like gets to the reveal of the secret, which is, I mean, are you gonna watch it?
I think you've already told me the secret.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty like
It's
underwhelming.
It's just like, his mum is cheating on the dad with Seth Rogen, and it's like, okay, and then it's just it just becomes a pretty generic family drama, and then like he goes to the new school, and then he gets bullied by high schoolers who are clearly not high schoolers, you know, and it's just it really lost me in that part of the movie.
I'm astounded
And, like,
that Paul Dano has not appeared on our best actor list, like for either of us, because we love Paul Dano.
I probably should have put the Riddler actually in my Antagonist, because I did watch the Batman. He's pretty funny.
How is he in the Fablemans? Is he just...
Yeah, no, he's pretty understated.
Okay.
But it's weird because it's like, it's understated, but then there's like, it's like, the performances in this movie are good, but they're not very nuanced. Yeah, I think my movie tastes have kind of changed. Like, and this is maybe the same with Avatar as well. Like, I've watched just much better movies since that's been released. I don't know, The Fablemans, like, I know a lot of friends who have seen this movie and they've liked it. They said it's really good, and I should have liked it, but yeah, it's just...
Maybe it's the sentiments of the Fablemans that you can't necessarily relate to.
Yeah, I mean, like, maybe, like, because I didn't grow up in a Jewish household,
Sure.
but, like, if you... I was watching bits and pieces of it again, and, like, I don't know, like, I think it's just Steven Spielberg's style is a little bit too whimsical for a family drama. When I'm watching some bits in this movie, it's just like, oh yeah, like I can see why like white kids get away with a lot of stuff. Like there's a kind of a montage where he's making movies and it's like with his sisters and it's like calling it like creating a mess. And I'd be like, if they were my parents, I'd get the fucking belt. But in the Fablemans, it's like, oh, you're creating movies. But yeah, no, there's even like the dad shares, he's like, oh, like, I don't know about you making movies and that kind of, I should be able to connect with that because like, you know, my parents didn't at first like the idea of me being a filmmaker, but they're supportive of it now. But like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. But that's a pretty long rant. I should probably let you get to your disappointing movie. Yeah.
So The Fablemans is your most disappointing?
Yeah. I'd put The Fablemans there. Yeah.
All right.
It's a good movie though. I recommend it. But just, I don't know. I'm curious to hear, I mean, write in the comments, like, am I just an unfeeling asshole now? Or like, you know, like what's wrong with me? Yeah.
I'm gonna say my most disappointing for this year was Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I think just as like a first of all, it was marketed incorrectly. I think like the multiverse aspect of it should have been downplayed because there was hardly any multiversal stuff going on in this film.
Yeah.
I feel like Spider-Man No Way Home had more multiversal stuff going on.
I mean, we've already had a much better multiverse movie last year.
Yeah, that's true as well, yeah. So, like, just don't call it Multiverse of Madness. It was neither mad nor multiversal. And just, like, the way... Like, I quite like Sam Raimi as a director and the way they kind of downplayed his, his contribution to the films. I think, like... Yeah. It was, I've gone on a rant before about it, but it's like the Marvel Studios fighting against Sam Raimi's directorial style, and it's like, it feels like you're watching two movies, and it kind of sucks. Their use of cameos as well is like, just to give like short-term gratification, short-term gratification for like, fans that actually want it, but then like not.
The fans got it, and then it was ripped away from them. Instantly.
Like no follow through. It's like sure, it's like here's what you wanted to see, but we're not doing that. We're killing this character off. Actually,
you like Professor X? He's got his neck snapped.
So I mean, like, just the whole handling of that movie, I think.
This is the kind of like, here's your cake and you can have it as well. Kind of thing.
And it kind of amounts to nothing at the end of the day. Like, it doesn't lead to anywhere. It doesn't open up any doors. It's like, might as well not have existed. I would have rather them like wait on it and just like, because I feel like the disappointing thing is that there's a lot of potential in those ideas. It's just that they just kind of throw it all away.
I feel like they should have just gone full Sam Raimi, just made it a horror, but that just wouldn't make that much money. So, which is, tentpole movies, man. You can't really Can't really trust them.
Let's move on to a more pleasant category.
Most surprisingly good movie.
Yeah. So on the flip side of disappointing, we've got movies or TV shows where we weren't expecting so much, but we actually walked away saying that was pretty good, actually. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I've got Triple R on there.
Yeah.
Because, you told me to watch this movie. And, I am going to give my honest thoughts here. Because, let's say, when you recommended this movie to me, I hadn't seen that much Indian cinema. And my image of Indian cinema is Bollywood musicals. And I'm not a big fan of musicals. And I'm not a huge fan of, what's overly dramatic, tell it all kind of storytelling.
Right.
At first, so I didn't have that much of a high opinion.
It's not very nuanced,
cinema.
right?
Yeah, but when I watched Triple R, I'm like, holy shit! This movie is fantastic. And I remember watching the first maybe 30 minutes of this movie. I'm like, I was kind of watching it expecting not to like it, and then I was like, this is a bit, but then over time the movie won me over in spades, and all the scenes that I may not have liked in other movies, the musical scenes Natu Natu, or in Vikram Vedha, Alcoholia, I'm like, those are my favorite scenes of the movie. So, and this movie opened up to me a whole different section of cinema that I'm not used to. So I have a high opinion of Indian cinema now. So
definitely Indian cinema is a lot. It's very different to what we're used to, and I think just the fact that Triple R opened our eyes to that is it's quite good.
And I'm actually really glad that Indian film goers really love their cinema, and I'm saying that even in the international scale, because there's a lot of Indian cinema that's readily available to watch here, and I have some Indian friends who are in the biz as well, and when I went to uni with them, and they're all very familiar from a young age about their cinema, because for us we watched a lot of Jackie Chan and that kind of thing, but for me it only really flourished in my teens when I picked up a Bittersweet Life. But to be able to have a discussion about these movies and have a lot of people reciprocate.
We got so many comments
great.
from Triple R video.
And we got caught out at some points, which is fair enough because we didn't know that much. But we're
willing to learn.
I sometimes don't feel the same way with let's say some westernized people can call me out on this, but some westernized Asian people they don't really watch their country's cinema. Maybe that's changed because of Netflix and all this Korean content that's out and stuff. But that's the big reason I started this podcast, because I think there's a lot of cinema that's available, for people to watch. Don't rely on Hollywood to make movies like Raya and the Last Dragon and Crazy Rich Asians and call that representation. Anyway, Triple R's there. I've got Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Okay, you watched this recently.
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just I see posters for it.
I saw a comparison of this film compared to Attack on Titan, and I was like, they look pretty similar. The action in this film looks pretty good, pretty dynamic.
There's quite a few nods. There's an Apocalypse Now nod, which is actually pretty good. But
Shrek has always been about its pop culture references.
That's true. Actually, no, it's a very enjoyable film. It's a pretty heavy themes for a kids movie, so it's surprisingly good in that sense. It's good. I've got Blade of the 47 Ronin, which is a movie. It's not a very good movie. It's really not. But I don't know. I kind of enjoyed this movie. I like the fight scenes in this movie, even though
I'm surprised I haven't watched this film.
It's you give it a watch. You might really hate this movie, and you'd be like, "What the fuck, Tom?"
No, it seems like it's right up my alley, actually.
Yeah, this movie, the acting is bad. the universe is very cheesy. A lot of the costuming kind of looks cheap, but like it's kind of like a big budget, mid 2000s Saturday afternoon after school movie. If you know what I mean. So that's the vibe that I got from this movie. But like, yeah, I'm just like, it's fucking on. It's on
You mean
Netflix. I'll just
like Electra or something like that?
no, not like Electra. It's kind of like if you watch like Nickelodeon movies that were on in the afternoon after school.
Right.
It's kind of like a violent version of that. But yeah, it's not a good movie, but enjoyable. I've got Ito there because I just did not expect this really beautiful film when I had COVID. And I have Baby Assassins there.
Okay.
But yeah, let's hear your list. Surprisingly good.
Yeah, Triple R is there as well. And Everything Everywhere All at Once is actually on there as well. Just because, like, you watch the trailers to that film, you don't really know what to expect either. And I feel like I watched it quite early on as well, before the hype kind of built up. So, like, to walk away from it, like, you know, it is a masterpiece, really.
Yeah,
like, that kind of film doesn't come around that often.
What's Guillermo del Toro and another famous director got together in Alejandro Inarritu, and they basically said like Everything Everywhere All at Once is Gen Z's kind of like Pulp Fiction. Like it's gonna have that cultural impact. Which is like, I wish it did, but I'm not sure because, like, you know, I mean, Marvel's there.
It's the most creative thing that I'd seen in a long time.
Yeah, definitely. So it's they said like it's injecting energy into cinema. So yeah.
I have Barbarian. I quite enjoyed that film, and I wasn't expecting anything from it because. Yeah, it's just I had heard that you should go into it blind, so that's what I did, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Amsterdam is also on there. I watched this recently, and like reviews for this have been pretty negative.
They've been like extremely negative. Yeah,
but I watched that. I was like, it's pretty fun actually. I quite like this.
I should give it a watch then. Yeah,
I'm not sure if you'll like. I'm like, it's kind of like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh yeah,
but like more of a period, and it's like. It's pretty off-kilter, but I think that's why I like it. Ambulance as well was quite good, surprisingly.
I probably should have put that on my list as well.
Just because Michael Bay's star has fallen quite a bit. So I was like, it's good to see him doing like pretty decent stuff again.
Yeah.
And Top Gun Maverick is on my list as well.
Really? Surprisingly?
Just because, because I don't have an affinity to the original Top Gun.
Yeah, that's fair. I actually only watched the original Top Gun for the first time like a week before I saw
remember
Maverick.
It being fine. Like, it's okay.
It's all right. Maverick is better.
Because Maverick is, how long has it been since the original Top Gun? It's been ages. It's been longer than Avatar, right?
36 years, yeah.
And, it's like a standalone Tom Cruise film about fighter planes, and then it gets like this Lego sequel out of nowhere, and the movie's really good. Like, I really enjoyed Top Gun Maverick. And
it's a very good movie.
Yeah, for it to not really... Because for me, as like, there's not really any nostalgia value, but it's just a really enjoyable film. So, I think I actually will give Top Gun Maverick the prize for most pleasant surprise of this year. Just because, like, I wasn't expecting anything from it, and it delivered a lot. And I was like, that was really good, actually. And even my partner loved it, so that's good too.
It's pretty like a universally acclaimed movie. I'm giving mine to Baby Assassins, which is a movie that I've mentioned. I said I'll talk about a few times. The premise for this movie, like, I'm just like, I'm just in a mood for like a pretty silly Japanese action flick, because it's about these two high school girls who are contract killers, but then they have to look for work. So there's this kind of like slice of life feel, which I might have said, but like for a lot of people who probably watch this movie will think that it's a bad movie. there's a lot of flaws and quite a few things that don't make sense. There's only really 2 action scenes in this movie, and it's kind of billed as an action film. But like, it's definitely like a low budget movie. So it's got that like CGI blood squib that is even found in Blade of the 47 Ronin.
Alice in Borderland.
Alice in Borderland, yeah. But the big thing about this movie is just, it put me into this weirdly pleasant mood that I haven't really had in a film for a while. And it's like, it feels like I'm watching a hangout movie, like Pineapple Express or something like that. Like back in the old days with you know, Seth Rogen and Dave Franco, and Dave Franco is a bit of a shit bloke.
James Franco. Dave Franco might be okay. I'm not sure, but James Franco is who you're thinking of. I think.
But like, there was this real like, I just really enjoyed watching these 2 characters try to get like real jobs, but also them just hanging out. And there's a lot of like weirdly like good cinematography in this movie. And I'm not sure, like it's created this new like weird genre, weird feeling that like it's very like, I feel like it's going to be very influential like in my work, aka I'm going to steal it. But like, it's, I don't know, like it's a very hard thing to explain like why I like this movie a lot.
It just hit you right, I guess.
Yeah, it just hit me really right, because I was just expecting a dumb action movie. I was ready to accept like, yeah, this movie is gonna be pretty bad, but whatever, man. Like, you know, just wanna chill out and watch a movie. But yeah, it turned out to be like really good, like stylistically really good. It's not like Daniel Day-Lewis There Will Be Blood performance from anyone in this movie, but just like very enjoyable leads and a couple of enjoyable antagonists in there as well. It's a very short watch. It's like an hour and a half.
Okay.
So yeah, it just, I don't know. This is a really
fun time.
I mean, yeah, really fun time. Like, I don't know if this is really a good movie.
Sometimes
like,
a movie just hits you right. Sometimes you're like, you've had the right amount of sleep. You're properly caffeinated, you know, and you've had a good day, and then you know you just enjoy a movie, maybe more than it deserves.
But I watched this movie again, and I had just as much fun watching it a second time. Like, it's just there's something very relaxing about this movie that involves like killers. Yeah, like I don't know. Like, if you should watch it someday. I think it's on Netflix. It's on it's on Hayya, which is the Shudder equivalent, but for martial arts movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's on that. And yeah, it's got this like really cool universe. I think there's a follow-up movie called The Janitor, which is like this janitor needs to protect this girl, and there's all these assassins trying to kill her, and he has to protect her. And apparently these 2 characters show up as antagonists in that movie.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not I'm not sure if I want to watch it, because if they get killed, I'd be very sad, because I really liked them in this movie. So yeah, it's an interesting film. Yeah, just hit me right, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to our next topic, which we're going into shitland again. We have worst TV show, which is do you have an extensive list?
I've got a pretty small list, actually.
Okay, yeah, my list is pretty small too, actually.
I have Resident Evil, Somebody, which is a Korean drama about serial killers and a dating app.
I think I saw. Is that on Netflix? Yeah.
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 And Bling Empire, season 2 and 3.
That's funny, because you enjoy those shows.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, they're bad, but I think they're pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
How about yours? Do you have I'm guessing you have a pretty small list, yeah?
Yeah, I didn't watch too many TV shows. But I've got Resident Evil. I've got Bling Empire. I have Miss Marvel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that wasn't very good, was it?
it's kind of very forgettable, and like it's not the worst. But the only thing I got out of that show is that we have a podcast episode about it. That's the only thing that I got out of that show. Actually, I forgot about this show, but Rings of Power.
You forgot it? You watched it pretty recently.
Yeah, I forgot. See, the thing about Rings of Power is that it is so bad and boring that it put me into this like state where I kind of enjoyed it, because it kind of put me in this. It's kind of like put me in this weirdly hypnotic state where like I was like tired, but just like kind of blazed at the same time when I was watching Rings, because I'd just be on my couch, lying down and just staring at the screen and just taking in just like really bad shit, and just like some of the shit is so bad in this show that it's just really funny.
But
like,
you partly watch this for the discourse, right? Like all the Galadriel memes and stuff. Like that's kind of like why I watch She-Hulk as well.
Yeah, but the thing is, Galadriel is not the worst part of the show. It's the Halfwoods. Like whoever wrote the Halfwoods. Like the thing about like Galadriel is people don't like her because she's a bitch. She's a Karen, and she's just
the best at everything.
The stereotypical, but like, I actually quite like the strong female character per se, but they have to be likable. Like, let's say, like Baby Assassins, or Yoon Se-bom in Happiness.
Jade Wesker.
Jade Wesker. Or like even like they're not necessarily strong physically, but characters like Ito or Pearl, like. I like these characters, but like Galadriel is just not a good character. But whatever. Like some people might gather some empowerment from her, and good on them. But whatever lesson you take from the Halfwoods is just bad, because they basically try to write these guys as the pre-hobbits and like lovable people, but they abandon you as soon as you're a bit slow, or they scheme to like kill each other, and like what the fuck, like you gotta watch it. Like there's a lot of discourse about the Halfwoods. they're just horrible, evil people that just don't deserve to live.
I feel the same about the cast of Bling Empire though.
Yeah, that's fair. I have one more show. This one's cheating a bit because I haven't actually seen it, but I'm putting She-Hulk there because, like, I can't imagine a more unpleasant show to watch than She-Hulk. Because first of all, like, I'm not a big fan of American sitcoms, right? That's just I think that's just been my whole life. I haven't liked the sitcom format, so that's already lost me. I don't like bad characters, annoying characters that we're supposed to like. And it's a Marvel property. And it's just like I've seen so much discourse about this show that it's just like it's really just like it's morphed into this weird fucking thing that it feels like I've seen this show even though I haven't. So I'm just putting it there.
I mean, I've seen it, and it's better than Miss Marvel. Because Miss Marvel, its main flaw is that it's extremely forgettable, whereas She-Hulk at least brings new ideas to the table. It tries something different. Whether or not that worked, that it's up to internet nerds to discuss. But I think it was pretty fun. And visual effects aside, because they are pretty janky, but I don't think it's a show that overly relies on visual effects, because it's more about the comedy. As someone that doesn't really enjoy American sitcoms, probably not going to like it. But yeah, I think it's at least not boring.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks terrible. Never going to watch it. I have a feeling that you and I have the same show. Or am I wrong?
I'm pretty torn, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's either Resident Evil or Bling Empire for me. But I quite like Bling Empire. So
that's the thing.
I think it's probably Resident Evil. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's Resident Evil for me because Bling Empire... that show is
meant
not
to be
made
bad,
for me.
right?
Yeah, it's meant to be bad. It's not. There's no amount of like format changing that will make me like the show. It's just bad from the get-go. Yeah, it's come from something bad. It's gonna morph into something bad if you're gonna continue that direction. But like some people enjoy that show and it's made for them. Yeah, so they might like it. Resident Evil is there because I like Resident Evil. There's already a pretty strong built-in vision that shouldn't be that difficult to adapt, but apparently no one can do it. Not even Capcom can do it.
Yeah.
But this show goes so far into this, like, really... It's basically like... I feel like She-Hulk writers wrote Resident Evil,
like,
but it's not a sitcom.
It's weird. It's like...
It's so bad.
They somehow thought too much about it, but also didn't put enough thought into it.
But who was the target demographic for this show?
Billie Eilish fans, Tavi. Billie Eilish fans are the target demographic.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm going to assume a lot of Billie Eilish fans, we're talking about like female Gen Zers, yeah? Right? I don't think they like gore or zombies that much.
I mean, they're not playing Resident Evil.
They're not playing
right?
Resident Evil. So why are you marketing this show based on violence and shooting zombies to people who clearly don't give a fuck about that stuff?
It's like they took the label Resident Evil and then just had like a bot search up all the trendy things and put it in the show. And it's just become this weird... Like, the tone is all over the place. Like, the main character is so unlikable.
See, the thing is that, like...
The decisions in the show make no sense whatsoever. There's random gun guitar. What
the fuck? There's just really bad, dumb choices. But we spoke about that. But, like, the thing is, like, Billie Eilish as an artist, she's pretty good. Like, I've actually... listen to some of her songs that people are saying at karaoke, and it's like, oh yeah, this is pretty good music. Yeah. But like, it just in this show, it's just. I mean, there's Esper in Resident Evil, man.
It's
like,
baffling.
I mean,
baffling.
It's like, if as much as I like Twice, let's say, if they play Twice in this show, I'd be like, what's this doing here? Unless it's done very like.
If it had a point,
to be very like it had a point. Like Esper's there, it's like yeah, we're hip and cool. Like hello, fellow kids. And it's like I'm on the next level. It was just bad. It was just this. And Jade Wesker is an antagonist. Like Jade, like
she gets everyone killed.
She just gets everyone killed. And like I will just never forget where she's like to her kid, just wait here. I'm just like, and then like the zombie escapes, and then I see a shot of her best friend who's pregnant, and I just laughed. I laughed out loud. It was so funny because I was just like, yeah, you deserve that. Not the character, but yeah, it's just funny. Yeah, Resident Evil is bad.
Yeah, Resident Evil is bad.
Yeah,
it's not good. I can't believe it's like we've gotten so many bad Resident Evil properties like coming out. Like Welcome to Raccoon City was also quite bad. I don't know why they can't get it right, but
I don't know. I guess it's just it's just Resident Evil cursed. But looking forward to the Resident Evil 4 remake. It looks good. Let's get back into good stuff.
Best TV show,
which is also my list is pretty small.
Okay, I have quite a long list for this one.
Yeah, I guess I should go first.
How did Bling Empire end up on this list as well for me? I guess well, I don't even remember writing that, but it's on my best TV show list as well as my worst TV show list. I guess that's the kind of show it is, though.
Yeah, it's not on my best, that's for sure. I've got Alice in Borderland season 2. I've got All of Us Are Dead. I have First Love, which is a Japanese romance show, which, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Okay. Even though it's one of the few TV shows I watched this year. It was just kind of a good, like, pure romance story. Like, it's not a rom-com, so there's not, like, unnecessarily quirky sidekicks and bad humor. It's just, like, pure Asian romance. I think it's based off like a couple of Utada Hikaru songs.
Is it a tragic romance or?
No, it's quite a nice story.
Okay.
It's I mean, I guess that's a spoiler, but it does have a good ending. So it's it's very like palatable. Something we should have covered on Valentine's Day, but we're doing something else. And lastly, Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosity.
Oh yeah, I've been meaning to watch that.
It's very good, very very entertaining. Not all of the stories hit, but like they all have like a good production value. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's my list.
Good on him for giving these like
no,
horror directors exposure.
Guillermo del Toro is like top notch. Like
he's a weirdo, but yeah, he's good.
Nah, like Hontoni good guy, man. Like,
and he's responsible for Blade 2, the best Blade movie. So.
Yeah, it is actually the best Blade movie. Yeah. All right, what's your best TV?
I have a bunch of like seasons, so like they don't have like a definitive endpoint, but they're just the season came out, 2022. So that includes Rick and Morty, Bob's Burgers, and Archer. All had pretty solid seasons last year. Cyberpunk as well is on there. House of the Dragon was surprisingly good.
I forgot to put Pachinko on there. Oh yeah, just adding Pachinko because Pachinko's
good. Yeah, I add on Pachinko onto my list as well. Pachinko is good, yeah.
Yeah.
I also watched White Lotus and Severance, which quite
I've
good.
heard very good things about Severance. Yeah,
Severance has a really interesting premise. So yeah, that's definitely worth a watch. And White Lotus as well. It's like got a premise that doesn't seem like it's anything, but the TV show is really compelling. The Boys as well had a season last year, which was pretty good.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get season 2 and 3 down. Just haven't had the time.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. It's like you've watched season 1, right?
Yeah, I like season 1 a lot.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
It's just like just Homelander is so good. He probably should have been on my best antagonist list as well. Like because he's just consistently good. That actor is so good at doing like just like barely masked rage. He's like so angry, but he's got that PR smile,
Yeah, he does that really well.
Kind of like Tom Cruise, I guess. It's like, that smile that's hiding a lot.
Yeah.
And Attack on Titan and Peacemaker as well.
Okay, yeah, you got a lot. I didn't put anime like those, and I think I put the animes just on the animated, but they're TV shows as well. So yeah, but I just got just live action stuff on mine. But yeah.
Do you have a clear winner for you? Or?
It's a toss up between All of Us Are Dead and Alice in Borderland.
Okay.
It's hard because I think I probably like Alice in Borderland almost more as a whole, but I really like the action set pieces in All of Us Are Dead. And I like the characters. And like, it's interesting because like I actually kind of don't mind like the high school drama stuff. I think that's what rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
Yeah, that's what turned me off the show. Yeah.
But like I've recently watched a fair few like Asian, like First Love has a big like high school drama kind of plot line, and I didn't mind it. I guess I just don't like high school drama when it's American because that's the part that turned me off in the Fablemans. So I don't know. Like,
I just
maybe
feel
that's just
like
my bias.
The other aspects of All of Us Are Dead were so strong that like the high school drama aspect felt like I could have done without it, I reckon.
But I don't know. Like I feel like if you watch a film like Battle Royale, there's a lot of high school drama in there as well. And I think like what accentuates what kind of when I compare it is that like they're like high school kids, so in that extreme situation it's kind of like what do you care about the most, and maybe it's just like romance. I don't know. Like,
I feel like the high school drama elements of Battle Royale is almost there for comedic effect though.
Yeah,
because it's kind of like in this life or death situation, like why the fuck are they caring about like feelings, whereas in All of Us Are Dead is quite like a big part of the show is this love triangle or whatever.
Yeah, no, I didn't mind it. I think it's like it's a Korean drama trope.
I forget her name, but like the female lead in that show, I feel like the K-drama aspects of it really kind of weakened her character And I was like, oh yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I prefer Alice in Borderland personally, but
Yeah. I don't know,
the action is good in All of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky. I think I'm gonna have to give it to All of Us Are Dead.
Okay.
I just I watched this TV show twice. I think it's the only TV show this last year that I watched twice.
Wow.
Just 'cause
Okay.
I just really enjoyed the action scenes, and I just imagine directing something like that as being like a nightmare. And I think the violence holds quite a bit of impact. I really enjoyed Nion's arc from being like a mega bitch to almost on the road to redemption and then having it stolen from her. I think was quite good. I like Papa Jihu's character. Like I liked her from House of Hummingbirds, so it was nice to see her get like, some mainstream recognition. I like Guinam a lot. I think he's a really deliciously fun villain.
I think All of Us Are Dead has some really good moments. I feel like maybe it could have been shorter, and that would have been better. Maybe I feel like there's a bit of wasted time, particularly in the second half of the show.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, but it does have really good moments. Like Nion's thing is really cool. Like the way she gets rid of that guy. Is just like, that's such a good episode. That's like some of the best TV that I watched last year, I think. Was just that episode. Yeah.
But yeah, just as the school cafeteria scene where just shit breaks loose. It's
it's like Train to Busan, right? But like with kids.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't think the season 2 is going to be that good because it's just new material, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see. Alice in Borderland season 2 was quite good. Yeah.
Yeah, Alice in Borderland's trailing very closely because that King of Spades scene,
the action was good. Yeah.
Action was good. It's just, I wish it wasn't that CGI blood stuff. That might have tipped it over for me, I think. That might have made Alice in Borderland better than winner. But anyway, what's yours?
I think I'll give it to White Lotus, actually.
Okay, yeah.
It's more of like a character study, I think. Because White Lotus, like there are 2 seasons so far, and each season has its own enclosed story. So there's that going for it.
I get what you mean, because I think all the TV shows I watched, like their stories are concluded.
Yeah.
Like First Love is a limited show.
Right. All of Us Are Dead is finished. Yeah.
It should be finished, but they're making a season 2.
Yeah.
So, but I consider it finished because it's covered the entire webtoon. So
yeah. So White Lotus, it's like season 2, which came out last year. It tells like a story, and the story is finished. So, and this, it's just good. It's like hard to explain why it's good, but it's just like the characters in it are so realistic, and they're so relatable, and the story that it tells is not like overly dramatic, but the way it kind of like weaves itself together is very compelling. I mean, it made several appearances in the Golden Globes, I think. Like Jennifer Coolidge won something for that show. So I think it is quite popular, and rightly so, I think.
Okay, cool. We got 3 categories left. We've got Worst movie. Okay. Worst movie.
My list is actually pretty short for this year. So that speaks to how good 2022 was for movies.
I had a few. Some snuck in.
Yeah, I might have forgotten. I might have blocked a few of these out of my memory. But yeah. Shall I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
So I've got Samaritan, Uncharted, Thor, The Princess, Spiderhead, Choose or Die, and Senior Year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I need to explain any of those.
Yeah. I've got a mix. I've actually got a few Asian movies on here because I want to make a point that I don't just think, Asians are the paragon of cinema. They also make some stinkers too.
Okay.
But my list: Thor: Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness, Hocus Pocus 2.
Okay.
Just pretty bland, forgettable movie.
Yeah.
Strange World, which is in not recorded conversation. I defended this movie without having seen it, and then I watched it, and it's bad.
Okay.
It's really bad.
I thought it was just poorly marketed. But...
It's very average, and it's it's Disney ticking checkboxes. Like, there's this one character, it's a side character, and it's an Indian guy, and he's clearly gay, like flamboyantly gay, but he's also like a comic foil and an idiot at the same time.
Okay.
And there's a general consensus among Westerners that Asians and Indian men are quite effeminate, and people don't like that stereotype. So I think it's with this character, it seems like Disney's trying to appeal, but they've just pissed off more people because not only is he he's Indian and they've made him effeminate, but they've also made him a dumbass in this movie. I don't know. I felt offended watching this character. So I was this is not a good movie.
Okay.
I've got Bullet Train there.
Wow. Okay. That's a harsh.
Yeah, it's not a good movie. It's I feel like this movie is very overrated.
I think it's fine.
I think it's overrated.
I think you reading the novel as well makes you dislike it more.
Yeah.
Which is fair, I think.
I have, all jokes aside, I have Morbius there. Even though I checked my Letterboxd, it says movies you've highly rated. And I forgot that I gave Morbius 5 stars.
Yeah, we both gave it 5 stars.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it. I've got The Lost City.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got Moonfall.
You haven't talked much about Moonfall, actually.
in hindsight, I don't know if this movie is that bad. It's got a really dumb premise, but it's just kind of typical Roland Emmerich.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. It's not that bad. I think I just written it here. But yeah, it's not the worst movie, but it's just there. It's not a good movie.
It's not good.
Yeah. I have Amma, which is
okay.
just very good performances from Sandra Oh, but just horror without the horror. There's no threat, but it's jump scares, but there's really bad jump scares. It's I don't know, it's almost like my first horror, but it's not very good, not very scary.
Okay.
This is a movie that you might find surprising. I've got The Pirates, The Last Royal Treasure.
Oh, I totally forgot I watched that film. Yeah.
This movie...
No, it's not good, is it?
This movie has, the shining beacon of, actresses in, my favorite... It's got Han Hyo-jo.
And it's got that actor that I quite like. What's his name?
Lee Kwang-soo.
I do like Lee Kwang-soo, but not that guy. The guy that's in Once Upon a Time in High School.
Oh, yeah, I forgot his name. But, I enjoyed some of the later parts of this movie, but it falls into the trap of, Marvel films. It has overly ambitious CGI, and it just looks shit. Some of the fight scenes are okay. The humor is very hit and miss. And, as much as I liked Han Hyo-jo, and she does well, the chemistry amongst the characters is just not there. It's everyone kind of hates each other, and that can work well, with Cowboy Bebop, but it doesn't really work well. I don't think they quite pulled it off. But just not a very good movie. I have One Up, which is the movie about the gamer girls. Bad movie, but didn't piss me off that much because I'm this is made for a certain audience and I'm clearly not the target demographic. So, and I have this movie's on Netflix, Japanese movie called The Violence Action.
Okay.
And I talked about Baby Assassins being a really good, surprisingly good movie. So The Violence Action has a similar premise. Cute girl who's an assassin as well. So I'm you know what? I don't mind watching movies like this. Like, I just wanted to watch like a dumb, fun action movie. And you watch the first 5 minutes of it, there's a really bad action scene, and you're like, yeah, this movie's gonna suck. Yeah, this movie was really bad. Like, some of the worst action editing I've seen in a long time. And it's like, you can see a movie like Baby Assassins, which has a really low budget, but the action scenes are okay. I'm assuming this was a Netflix budgeted show, and there's a lot of really badly flash. It's very like early 2000s, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I was looking forward to watching this movie because I was just like, yeah, we're gonna watch another like just one of these dumb movies where cute girls kill guys, and it's like, yeah, it's not very good. It's really bad, in fact. Yeah, I've got Disney's Pinocchio.
Yeah, I've been watching the Tom Hanks one.
Yeah, it's just a soulless movie. Just like there's basically a bit where like Pinocchio looks at a piece of shit. That's the movie. Yeah, he just looks at this piece of shit, and then there's like this line where like all these characters are introduced and they're just tossed aside. Like Little John, the wolf's there, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know. And like watching like an old Tom Hanks like dancing around with a kid is kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit yeah, weird. I got this movie, Hell Dogs.
Oh, the Japanese one.
This was another movie. Like, I told you that I was going to watch it, and like, this movie looks good, and I can't wait. I've got like my big bag of popcorn.
It did look good. It looked like Infernal Affairs-ish.
This movie was supposed to be almost disappointing, but it's like when it was so bad that it like went from disappointing to just bad, because it's weird because this movie has all the hallmarks that I should like. It has like the style is pretty cool. It has slick characters. It has a couple of good action scenes, and it's like a gangster movie, but like it just none of the beats like hit at all, and they're like the characters are very like unlikable, where they're like they don't have any personality, and I think there's a bit in the movie where they like this female assassin tries to poison like the lead, and then he like catches her out, and she tries to fight her way out of it, and then there's like these 5 burly men kind of like picking on this girl, and then they capture her, and then like they torture her, and it's like, am I supposed to like these guys? Because what they're doing is kind of like not very commendable.
Sure.
I don't know, and it kind of like rubbed me the wrong way.
But they're the good
like,
guys, are they?
Yeah, I mean, like, because there's the protagonist who's an undercover cop, but he has like the personality of a peanut, and then he's like, you got these other underworld figures that you're kind of supposed to find charismatic and likable, but they're also evil, but like none of them are like fleshed out. So if you're just watching like I don't know, this one scene, they're just like, watching these guys like beat up this woman, and it's just like, yeah, man, like I don't know, it just kind of made me uncomfortable, and it's like, yeah, nah, it's kind of like that scene in Ichi the Killer where like the guy, yeah, it's just like, yeah, you can kind of see the misogynistic roots of like Japanese society, and I, you know, I mean, I'm not the super PC guy, but just something about that scene, I was just like, yeah, like I just tapped out, and it was just very like unpleasant for the rest of the movie.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and lastly, there's Senior Year, which is a really bad movie, but also didn't really piss me off that much because it's not made for me.
It's like
it's really bad, but I was surprised by how much I didn't have any emotion watching this movie.
I think you were braced for it though, because I had gone on a rant previously about it.
Because like when you were explaining it, it sounds so bad. Like, yeah, you're probably right. I think I had like, you know, had my protective gear, and just I was prepared for
shit. I mean, my worst movie is Senior Year, hands down. I think like just looking at the list that I've got here, it's like, yeah, they're pretty bad, but Senior Year is like another level of bad. Like even for that kind of movie, like that movie is not really tailor-made for us, but even for what it is, it's so bad. Like none of the humor lands. The story is weird. It's strange, and it's strangely delivered as well. And Rebel Wilson is not good in it. Like I like her fine, but she's not good in this film.
It's a pretty bad movie. It should be my worst movie of the year, but like, I think my criteria is like, what movie pissed me off more? Like, this year's list. There wasn't a movie that pissed me off as much as last year's, which was Monster Hunter and Snake Eyes.
Good movie, I reckon. But yeah.
I have two very close contending ones, and this is like just me thinking about it and like us taking that break over the weekend, and like I was really thinking about it. The runner-up for me is Bullet Train, and it's honestly not the worst movie, but like I really like the movie White Noise and Blonde. So I've been reading those novels after like watching those movies, and I feel like the movies didn't capture everything in the novels, but like they did like the best that they could to adapt like the feel or the message, to pay respect.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like Bullet Train is super, like, whether it was intentional or not, and I know Kotaro Isaka doesn't really care, but I'm not sure if that's because, like, I don't want to say anything negative because I'll get my royalties cut off. Like,
it is like, really far removed from the novel.
It's so far removed, and it's like there's not even an attempt to make it feel Japanese at all, except that the setting's there. And like what they did with the prince in the movie is like shocking. And there's like, the movie doesn't give me anything to think about, and it's not supposed to. But like the thing about Bullet Train is that it's this very highly rated movie of last year that is completely like shat on what it was come from. And like there are exceptions, because like sometimes for example, adaptation is like one of the best movies that have been adapted from a novel. And it's like entirely different from the book, but it's very clever. But like White Noise and Blonde are very like maligned by general audiences, because I didn't get it or it made me feel bad. But it's like these two movies have tried to bring the message of the book, so it made me want to read the novels, and like I've been reading them and thoroughly enjoying reading them. But Bullet Train is just like, it's just throwaway action that I feel like no one's going to talk about in 2 years' time. And I don't know. I just don't like the dumbing down of material, especially because it's a Japanese material. Like I picture kind of like a Baby Assassin's world with the way the book is written, and it's just much cooler. Anyway, but that's not the worst movie of the year. Worst movie is Thor: Love and Thunder. Just because of for a much more simple reason, just because of I can just remember the collective disinterest that me, Brune, and Nat sat down watching this movie, expecting to like it, expecting to at least be entertained by it.
It's hard to put a finger on why Thor: Love and Thunder is so bad, though. Like, I was thinking about it now, and like, how is Thor Ragnarok different to this film? I think a lot of it has to do with the visual effects, which again is hard to criticize because it's just studios that are overworked. But yeah, it is also quite soulless as a film. It's quip central as well. It's just so many quips.
So just devoid. Because I like Ragnarok, but just I don't know. This movie was just worse.
Christian Bale's alright over there.
Christian Bale's alright. It's weird. Like I went on that massive rant just then about Bullet Train, but Bullet Train, like, as a product that might exist separately from the novel, it is essentially just fine. But Thor: Love and Thunder is just so boring. Like, I don't know. It's bad. It's shit.
Okay.
And
fair.
All right. Let's finish it off. 2 more categories.
We got Best Director next.
I've got Hirokazu Koreeda for Broker.
Yep.
I have The Daniels, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yep.
I have Park Chan-wook, Decision to Leave. I have Anna Lily Amarpour for Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon.
Okay.
I have Noah Baumbach for White Noise. I have Lee Sang-il for Wandering. I have Alejandro Inarritu for Bardo.
Okay.
Andrew Dominic for Blonde. I have Satoko Yokohama for Ito. I'm not sure how I'm going to pronounce this. Feng Yi Fiona Roan for American Girl. I have Martin McDonough for The Banshees of Inisherin. I have Emma Kawada for My Small Land. I've got Robert Eggers for The Northman. I have Luca Guadagnino for Burns and All. I have SS Rajamouli
Rajamouli,
for
yeah.
Triple R. Yeah. I have Chung Mon Chong for The Falls. I have Kyle Edward Bell for Skinamarink. And lastly, Jordan Peele for Nope. Yeah, what about you?
I have very similar. So Daniels, yeah. Robert Eggers. I've got Sam Raimi for Multiverse. The parts that he was responsible for. Hirokazu Koreeda. Park Chan-wook. Jordan Peele as well. I have Scott Derrickson for both walking away from Multiverse of Madness and also doing Black Phone instead. I think that's just ballsy move.
Black Phone is really good. I probably should put that there too.
Just like, to walk away from like pay dirt to do something that's probably better.
That he likes.
Yeah.
It's much better than Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. Black Phone is a movie I didn't talk about that much this year. It's a really good movie. Yeah.
And I've got, is it T West? Ty West?
Yeah, I think it's some people say Ty, some people say T, so
Ty
whatever.
West.
Just
the guy that did X and Pearl. That's my list. So a bit of overlap.
Yeah, this was a hard list for me to choose a winner. Because I really liked Anna-Lily Amarpour's vision in Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon, which I think is a very heavily underrated film. Last year, no one watched it, essentially. I feel like me and you are the only people in Australia that watched this movie.
Probably more people listened to the episode that we did on it than people that actually watched the film.
Yeah, I think so. Noel Baumbach's vision for White Noise is fantastic. And when you read the book, and because I'm reading the book after watching the movie, and you can it matches really well.
Okay.
I was like, oh yeah, that's really good. Alejandro Inarritu's for Bardo. I like wanky personal films that are hard to comprehend. Andrew Dominic Blonde, because he doesn't give a fuck about what people think about his movie, and I respect that. But it comes really close to, because I honestly watched these movies in the last 2 days. It comes to Hirokazu Koreeda, the Daniels, or Park Chan-wook. They're vying for the position, and I think I did have a winner, but my mind changed over the past couple of days. And I'm gonna have to give it to Park Chan-wook for Decision to Leave, because I watched a 4K Ultra HDR version of that movie, and it's another experience, man. I mean, everyone knows Park Chan-wook. He's got the immaculate framing. So when you watch this with extremely high quality, and me watching it for the 5th time now, I didn't need to pay attention to the dialogue as much. I can just watch the visuals, and it is just a visual feast. The whole movie is incredibly calculated to the finest detail, and I was originally going to give it to the Daniels, but just watching Decision to Leave again, and that clarity was just fuck. It hit different. It's good.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've only watched that film once in the theaters. Yeah, it's good. But yeah, I haven't had the benefit of 4K ultra clarity, so I don't know if I have the same affinity for it as you do. I'm gonna give it to the Daniels, and this is the decision that I've just made just now, looking at my list, because Everything Everywhere All at Once it's a film with so much going on there's like a lot of different directing styles that you need to take on board. There's like action directing that's important. There's like the family drama aspects of it. There's the visual effects that are involved in the multiverse sort of stuff. There's like lots of different aspect ratios going on. There's like a lot of love of cinema in the film as a whole. So like all of that put into one film, I think that's just what gets it over the line for me. It's like, because you just need to have a firm grasp of a lot of different aspects of cinema, I think. And I'm not saying that the other directors don't. Obviously they would, being professional directors. But it's just like for it to be displayed in one film is like pretty outstanding, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely like showcasing a love of cinema. And like just watching that again, like I keep spotting different references each time. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure there's a reference to The Raid where the guy's like knocking with the pipes on the cubicles. There'd be a reference to The Girl That Leapt Through Time, which is when Jamie Lee Curtis is like flying through the air to punch Michelle Yeoh in the face. It's just, there is so much like really awesome references to movies. And like, that's the beauty of like, that's the difference of being inspired and straight up stealing. Like, they've taken all these elements from these films, but they've made it their own. And like, I think it's really fantastic movie as well. But I think Park Chan-wook just steps out of the line for me, just for the intricacies of just everything about the frame and just everything.
It's like the fundamentals. It's like the difference of like a firm grasp of fundamentals, and I guess like the Daniels is just doing everything. I wish I could talk more about some of these films, but like I can't talk about all these directors because we're going to be here for 3 hours. So we should probably move on to best movie. The last category.
The last category. Fuck, we can't shut the fuck up. So risky.
Well, presumably we're going to edit it down for risky, but still though, we've been recording for ages.
I mean, like, we've gone on some rant. We're definitely going to take some stuff out. But we're hitting the 2.5, 20-minute mark. Anyway.
Best movie.
I kind of narrowed it down to like 10. Because I have a lot of best movies this year, but I've got like 10. But I do have a definitive winner. But do you have like? Do you just have a best movie, or do you have kind of a list?
Morbius is on top. No, I have a list. I've got Triple R, Top Gun Maverick, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Nope, Pinocchio, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which I haven't talked enough about. I feel like I watched that at the tail end of this year, and it's like it's good. Right.
I didn't realize you liked that movie that much.
No, it's very good. Avatar: Way of Water, just on like technical aspects alone, is quite a feat, I think, because you sometimes forget, like, watching that film, that none of it is real. Right. Like, and I actually forgot. Like, it kind of blurred the lines of like what part of this frame is real. Like, is the boat real? Is like the physical space that they're standing in real? Like, because the water's obviously not real, right? So like, just that as a tech demo,
as a technical feat,
it's pretty mind blowing. I think that's my list actually. How about you?
I can't put Avatar: Way of Water on my list. I have Decision to Leave. I have Broker. I have Everything Everywhere All at Once. I have Ito. I have The Falls. I have White Noise. I have Baby Assassins. I have Nope. Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon. Banshees of Inisherin, and The Northman. So those are my, like, in no particular order, they're like the 10 movies that I had to narrow down. And like, this list kept changing because like movies for me are quite fluid, you know. They're almost like, they're like people's personalities, like people that you kind of know. And then like when you grow up, he was a good person, or he was a shit bloke, or whatever, you know. So like, but this is it as it stands. Do you have a definitive, or you have to have a definitive one?
It's hard to look past Everything Everywhere All at Once. For me, it's a toss-up between that and Nope, probably. with Triple R being pretty close, but like as a total package, like it lacks like an emotional aspect, I think. Like Triple R is like a really good spectacle.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much as far as it gets. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is both a spectacle, but it does have that also emotional core of it that's also like extremely relatable to a lot of people, I think. And like, the performances as well there's a lot going on in that film, and I think Nope as well, there's a lot going on. Nope is like one of those onion films where I feel like there's just a lot of layers to it. Decision to Leave as well is like that. I should have put that on my list. I don't know why I didn't. It's
Maybe you just didn't like it.
no, it is quite good. It's like I do enjoy films where you can like analyze things a bit.
I
don't know, man.
I think I left Triple R is definitely in there, but it's not in the 10 for me for the same reasons as you just said then. It's like spectacular film. But I think for me it's kind of just the spectacle. But like I think the other films I kind of have something that I connect with like personally.
Right.
So I have these movies there for the reason. And like as you said, it is very hard to look past Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think like the top 3 for me would be like Decision to Leave, Broker, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. And those 3 movies I just rewatched, and like I see them like clawing at each other because they're just like so many like really beautiful aspects to all those movies, and they're all very different. But like even after those 3 movies, like Ito is following very close behind, just as a very like beautiful film, and The Falls as well, just for being like a very interestingly stylistic film.
I might have to rewatch Ito after this actually.
Yeah, because it's really good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and like as you said, Nope is just fantastic. Like just the scene with the monkey, it's got really good CGI. Yeah. So we should commend that CGI.
And
when
just
it's
like the
well.
Restraint in that scene is so good. Like the sound design is just so much quiet in that. It's just really good. I don't know.
I'm gonna watch that movie.
It's also got the best death of 2022.
Yeah. I do have a definitive winner. It's gonna have to be Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is like, oh, but why did you pick the best director? I was like, all right, well, the thing is, like, yes, Decision to Leave is probably the best directed film, but like, Everything Everywhere All at Once as entertainment, as like a story about nihilism, but also about family, and as you said, tackling all these cinematic, elements and spotting all these Easter eggs is just so much fun to watch. And it's like they've taken what could have been like a very cynical story about nothing matters, but they've really taken like probably what the philosophers are talking about is taking that thought but making it very like poignant.
Right.
It's just like this really dark theme, but it's really funny and
heartwarming as well.
And heartwarming, yeah. And just like the silliness of the movie. Like, I've seen a lot of people complain about the silliness of it.
It does go a tad far at points. Beating someone up with a dildo is a bit unnecessary.
No, it's funny. I think in terms of, like representing like that immigrant story into something that's very like accessible and a lot of people enjoy and can relate to. Without being ham-fisted about it is like, because this is a Gen Z millennial story, I think. There's a lot of themes in there. There's like, because Joy, she's a lesbian, the immigrant story, but like it's tackled in a way that I think most people can enjoy. I can see that a lot of boomers will probably not like this movie because it's just too weird, but I think it just hits that sweet spot for me. Like I like I like weird shit, and there has been definitely weirder movies than this one. Honestly, that have come out this year.
I mean, it's
Everything
also
Everywhere All at
probably
Once.
more personal to us as
Asians, yeah.
growing up in a Western society.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's probably it gives it some points for us.
But
Yeah.
it's just an enjoyable film.
It's a good film.
Yeah,
It's like I said, it's like
just-
the most creative thing I've seen for a long time.
Yeah. Ki Kwan is also just such a lovable, wholesome guy.
Yeah.
He's just like, you just want to like give
I
him
mean,
a
the whole
hug.
team seems like they're just so
Yeah.
nice. You know,
Yeah.
like I always see pictures because I follow both Michelle Yeoh and Andy Lee, one of the fight
Oh, yeah.
choreographers, and
Yeah.
they're just like having a great time promoting this movie.
Yeah.
That's like quite
Yeah.
important to them as well. You know, like in terms
Yeah.
of Asian representation. I know we don't like to harp
Yeah,
on
yeah.
about that too much, but like
Yeah.
it's undeniable. Like the impact.
We kind of have to acknowledge
Yeah.
it as well. I have to, because I am an Asian filmmaker, and like that's kind of, it is like a goal of mine to like represent a lot of
But it's like
Asian filmmakers.
and I think you
But
said
it's-
this when we
yeah.
talked about it previously. It's just a good film. Like we don't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
think
yeah.
about representation when we watch this film. It's like
Yeah.
just a good movie.
Yeah,
you know?
it's just good movie. it's good filmmaking. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's the best movie of last year.
For me, it's like because Nope as well. I think Nope is quite close for me because it's like the thematic elements I think are quite fun to unpack and talk about. But like, yeah, in terms of cultural impact and like, yeah, just being an overall great experience, Everything Everywhere All at Once probably wins out, I think.
Yeah, actually, I think I've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once and Decision to Leave the same amount of times. Yeah, they're both good movies. Yeah. But yeah, did you announce a winner?
Everything
Have you
Everywhere
got-
All at Once. Just thinking about it now, like
yeah.
the ambition of that kind of project as well. It's like it could have gone horribly wrong. It's quite a hard,
Yeah.
like the multiversal aspects of it would, you know, it could be, they could have overcomplicated it.
They could have Doctor Strange 2'd it.
Yeah, but no, they just kept it fun, kept it light, and it is
Yeah.
fun to watch, even though it is quite complex. It's like you can enjoy it
Yeah.
on several different layers, and there's just that like love of cinema like ingrained throughout the film as well. And it's like cinema that I like as well. Like maybe some of it went over my head, like the parts that didn't quite resonate with me. But that's like kind of the beauty of it as well. Like no matter what kind of cinematic background you have, you can probably see something that you recognize in this film, and it can resonate with you. Like there's like those Wong Kar-wai elements that are quite recognizable. But like you said, like upon rewatches, you probably see more and more stuff in it. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to beat.
Yeah, good movie, fucking good movie. Yeah. I guess that concludes this behemoth of an episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long one.
We might have to split it so Risky doesn't like kill us in our sleep.
We'll see.
You guys just come up and just make a 3-hour episode. And then, yeah, can you get it done by next week? Thanks, mate. See you later.
He's a good sport. I'm sure he'll be all right. Yeah. No, I mean, like, what a year, right?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, it's funny. We came up with these categories to try to make things not necessarily more compact, but like just to give us an excuse to talk about all the stuff we wanted to. But I think some people enjoy listening to these long ass podcasts of just ranting about movies. So yeah, I know some people who said they've enjoyed that. So it's like, yeah, maybe this will be the new format. It's just more work for us. We're awesome, aren't we?
All right. Well, I mean, I guess that's us. Like, what did you think of the year of 2022, guys? Was there anything we missed? We definitely missed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Just before we head off, are there any films that you are anticipating this year? Just off the top of your head, because I can only think of two just now. Like, I'm pretty excited to see
Is it the
Ari Aster movie.
Ant-Man movie?
Not the Ant-Man movie. At the end of the trailer, Jonathan Majors going,
Sorry, what was the Ari Aster film?
Bo is Afraid.
Yeah, that looks good. Joaquin Phoenix.
Interesting. Yeah. And a film that should have come out last year, it did come out last year, but it's not here in Australia because we get good movies really late here. We usually get the tentpole stuff first. Suzume no Tojimari, the Makoto Shinkai movie. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Like I love just his movies, the style. Even if the story is probably going to be, well, apparently the story is a little bit different because Weathering with You and Your Name were quite similar, but it's just like enjoyable to watch. So I'm ready to hit the feels again when that comes out. But yeah, those are the. I'm sure there's a lot more, but I can't think of any because I'm a bit gassed.
Fair enough. Have you seen the trailer for Renfield? That looks alright.
Oh yeah, that looks fun. Yeah,
looks fun.
Cage.
Oppenheimer, maybe that comes out this year.
Oh yeah, Oppenheimer comes out. Yeah,
Christopher Nolan's usually pretty good. Yeah. Dune Part 2.
Oh yeah,
I like Dune.
Yeah,
I think
Dune 1's good. Yeah.
And Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
That
will probably be pretty good. Yeah, there's probably a bunch of stuff that's coming out.
Yeah. I should list more Asian movies, but usually those movies just kind of come as I see them through the year. Like there's never any.
There's not that much hype for those kinds of films, right?
Yeah. Because nobody wants to watch Asians anyway. So, all right, but that's we should probably go.
All right. Guys, what do you think of our list of stuff? What do you think of this 3-hour episode? Let us know. You can get in touch with us at twoasianblokes@gmail.com. You can join our Facebook group, or you can follow us on Instagram at twoasianblokes to see what we're up to. Thank you for listening to this. Well, this took a lot out of us, actually.
Jesus Christ.
And we haven't even started editing.
We did a rejig this format but I found this episode quite fun. But anyway, before we fucking go for 2 hours, 40 minutes.
All right. See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
All right. Bye.